Welcome to Innovator's Journey, the show where we go behind the bold ideas and breakthrough moments with leaders, advocates, and changemakers shaping industries and lives. I'm Nick Frank. Today, I'm joined by Courtney Werning, a principal at Meyer Wilson Werning, and a fierce advocate for investors who have been wronged. Courtney has secured landmark victories in high-stakes disputes against major financial institutions, helping recover hundreds of millions of dollars for her clients. From a record-setting $262 million jury verdict to leading the firm's cryptocurrency litigation arm, she's become one of the most trusted voices in investor protection. And as one client even told her, I will remember you as the good guys who gave me my life back. Courtney, excited to chat with you today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Now, you just became and were just named a principal at Meyer Wilson Werning after building this groundbreaking cryptocurrency litigation practice. What really drives that fight for individual investors in a very complex digital landscape?
Thank you. I'm actually really excited about the prospects of crypto, the idea of integrating it into the financial future. But for this technology to truly go to the mainstream investors and become something that people trust with their hard-earned savings, these platforms, these cryptocurrency exchanges, where billions of dollars every day are traded, they themselves have to be safe and secure and dependable. And so we're really fighting to make sure that as this industry grows up, these companies that are making billions of dollars off the backs of investors are held to really the same standards of security and accountability that we would see everywhere else in the finance field.
Yeah, and like many other industries, crypto has definitely been infiltrated by scammers. And thousands of Coinbase users are reporting that they're receiving calls from scammers who know their exact account balances, their bank information, even their social security information, like stuff that should be secure. And so far, these victims, a lot have been blamed for these losses. But I know you specifically are fighting to change that narrative. So what really happened at Coinbase, and why was there this internal security breach? Like, why is it that and not a user error?
Yeah, let me be very clear that it's not a user error. It's really an institutional failure. According to its public filings, Coinbase admits that this information about its customers were sold to scammers by its own employees. This is highly sensitive data that should have been locked up tight inside their internal systems. And what scammers really knew was, exact real-time account balances, social security numbers, the account histories for all of these Coinbase customers. That data is what has led the Coinbase customers to believe they're speaking with a real Coinbase employee. And it's this type of social engineering scam that's leading people to transfer their money away from their Coinbase accounts into the hands of scammers. So the scammers got exactly what they needed from Coinbase to get these customer funds, and that's how they engage people in this scam. And one of the things that really gets me is that Coinbase put out press and actually in the regulatory filings said that, hey, we're going to reimburse customers who got tricked into transferring assets through these social engineering scams. They made this big public promise. They're not following through on it. They're not reimbursing people. And in 2025, we think this is unacceptable. If crypto exchanges want to position themselves as legitimate financial institutions where your parents and your grandparents should be investing their funds, then they need to step up and protect the people that are actually using the platform. Taking responsibilities for these types of security breaches is really the bare minimum.
Yeah, and you've helped some of these victims recover some of their money, millions in these fraud situations. So what should people know about when exchanges, financial professionals, like how do we know they can be held accountable for these losses? And what is your message to those 80,000 plus Coinbase victims who have faced these fraud and scam situations?
What people need to know is that just because it's digital doesn't mean it's the wild, wild west, or it shouldn't be. These cryptocurrency exchanges have an attitude of, well, we're not like traditional financial institutions, and so the rules don't apply to us. And they fill their terms of service with these types of disclaimers. But these security vulnerabilities represent, foreseeable risks that Coinbase and these other crypto exchanges, they know about it. They can't simply disclaim it away. The rules of accountability still apply to them. And these companies can be held responsible for negligence and other statutory claims through established legal channels. So holding them accountable, in fact, I think is a crucial step towards legitimizing the entire industry. So the message to the victims of the Coinbase data breach, and any others is that it's not your fault. You trusted a major platform to secure your assets and your data. That platform failed, and you have rights just as every customer would. They need to be treated with due care by the financial institutions that they entrust. And so, me and my firm, we're not anti-crypto, we're just pro-investor. And by holding these companies responsible, we're pushing these exchanges to build the trustworthy ecosystem that really everybody wants, one that's secure for you and the next generation of investors. So we're here to help reclaim what they've lost and ensure that this isn't something that happens to other people.
Yeah. And then do you have any insights on how people can ensure that when they get these messages that they are legitimate, they are real, like it's not coming from a scammer? Just any insights on how to remain safe while dealing in these crypto situations?
So the scammers have become very evolved. They are able to replicate platforms that look and feel like Coinbase, even when it's not actually a legitimate operation. So being attuned to what you're actually clicking on, making sure that you understand where your funds are and what the actual process through Coinbase ought to be for moving funds or investing funds. The two-factor authenticator is critical. Investors that are using SMS as their two-factor authentication really aren't doing the best in terms of keeping their own account safe. And so I would recommend using an authenticator app or something other than SMM, because we see a lot of these SIM swap cases still happening as well. What that is these scammers actually take the SIM card from your cell phone for people that are using two-factor authentication using their text message system. So they'll get the scammers are the ones that actually get the text, and the customer no longer has use of their cell phone, but now the scammer has the two-factor authentication to get into the crypto platform and take all the assets.
It's wild what scammers are able to do today. If individuals want to reach out to you, to your law firm, if maybe they feel like they've been a part of a scam, especially with Coinbase, like how can they find you and enlist in your services?
So you can visit our website at investorclaims.com, submit a web contact form, or you can even email me directly, cwerning@meyerwilson.com. We're happy to talk to anybody that thinks that they were impacted by the data breach or some other type of scam involving crypto, because we do a wide range of these types of cases.
Awesome. Well, Courtney, great mission. Thank you for sharing and joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. To learn more about Courtney and her work, make sure to check out the Meyer Wilson Werning and any of her leadership with the Public Investors Advocate Bar Association. And as always, if this episode inspired you, follow the show, share it with someone who believes in standing up for what's right. I'm Nick Frank. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you for the next Innovator's Journey.